The thing about me is I don't discriminate when it comes to cutting people off. And I need the sunglasses, but I feel like it's a bit rude. The problem we do with people is we hang on to some good times. And that makes of us not able to cut the ties when we have to. Because, people change. They say people don't change, but people actually change. And that's the issue a lot of times. Like, maybe it starts small, but they over time become more and more and more toxic. And you can't just play along forever. You can't enable it forever because it's gonna get worse. It always does. Being the oldest sibling, for example, it's really hard for me to see some of my siblings being, a certain way when they're small, very kind, sweet, all kinds of things, and then they just switch up. And it's unfortunate, there are so many unfortunate circumstances. I've excused so many things because people are traumatized, people experience bad things, but I have to remember, I didn't have an easy life at all, and I still know how to treat people. I don't think it's a good thing to have these excuses. And one other thing, I actually believe it's best for them. Because if you stick around and stuff, they think everything is fine in a way, even if you complain. There are so many narcissists who would do so much better if they were just cut off from everybody. And they're still gonna have excuses. But it's not that easy, because they need somebody to blame, and they're not gonna have somebody to blame. I think it's actually quite a little bit of a selfish thing to just let people stick around, because it's about you. It's like you feel bad about yourself to cut them off. It will hurt your ego. It will hurt your pretty image of yourself. Like, oh, I'm an angel. I just enable everything. I just do everything for other people. They can do no wrong. I see the good in people. Because we have to get real at some point and have boundaries. Like, not be so freaking doormat all the time. And it will never... You know what? For me, I'm always open. When I do this, I'm always open. But I'm like, for now, the way you're behaving, I'm not going to accept it anymore. And I give people a lot of time as well. And I give, I talk to people. But if over and over again you have this talk, you sit down or whatever, and you explain how you feel, and that they make you feel a certain way, and they ignore it, or nothing changes, that's a problem. Sometimes actions speak louder than words, and sometimes that's the only time people learn, and you leave them in their own energy so they can heal, they can think. And that's the thing, when it goes on for too long, you're gonna be part of the problem for them. They're gonna feel like you are a problem. That has to stop, honestly. Some of the people in my lives, that's the only time they learned is when I cut them off. I cut off my mom for a year, and she knows how to talk to me now. Because every time she steps over my boundaries, I block her. So she knows. And I'm not doing it for petty reasons either. It's not because I don't like what she's saying. It's when it goes over certain boundaries and it becomes disrespectful and overly hurtful for no reason. And I just stop everything, right? I just block. I have another family member who does this just because she is overwhelmed. And that comes off so petty and different, You should at least try talking to people. Don't get me wrong, but we know when it doesn't work. We know when they don't want to communicate. It's like talking to a wall. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Life is short. We don't have infinite energy, and It doesn't do anybody any good, to be very honest. They're not gonna see your help as help even. They're gonna see like, I think you're better than them. That's the worst part about it. So I'm not doing it anymore. And I don't really care who it is. I really don't. I don't care if it's my own mother, if it's my own sister, if it's my own pet. No. Yeah, I don't care, you know. That's how you have self-worth. Everything else, I'm sorry, but just being a doormat is not respectable at all. It's not, and you're not getting anything. And I don't do things to get something. But at the same time, I do not like when people don't have gratitude. I really don't. And if you're helping people and they say you're not helping, okay, I'm not doing anything anymore. And then they know. Then they know what it feels like to really get no help. So either they get honest and they admit that I'm helping and they show some gratitude, like not crawl up my ass, but you know, just basic friendliness, basic dignity. But if they don't do that, if they want to act like I'm an enemy while I am helping them, which is what a lot of toxic people, narcissistic people do, the only thing you have to do, and you have to do it, it's like your duty, you have to cut them off. Because you're enabling it. You're enabling their toxic whatever they're doing. And they have to get over it, and they have to, you know, as I say, I'm not a person who's like forever, oh, I'm gonna block you forever. But if I unblock you after a while, and it can be a long time, and nothing has changed, you're cut out. Like, I'm always open. If somebody wants to come to me and say, look, this and that, I've learned my lesson, so to speak, cool. But like, sometimes that's also fake. And they just do it to get back to the benefits of being with you or whatever. A lot of narcissistic people do that, but they can never keep it up. So don't be too scared of it. Like, I'd rather show some grace to people than to always be paranoid, you know.